My text is Colossians chapter 3 verse 23. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working for the Lord, not for men. Many Christians have a wrong conception of worshipping God. For them, worshipping is confined to a Sunday service or Mass. They see no connection between their work during the week in an office, school, factory or field and the Sunday worship. On this subject, the Irish Methodist missionary Reverend George E. Good, who served in Sri Lanka for 3.5 years, said, "We ought to go to work on Mondays for much the same reason that we go to church on Sundays." What he meant was to worship God. And A.W. Tozer, the American Christian pastor and author, said, "If you will not worship God 7 days a week, you do not worship Him on 1 day a week." I know of a Christian who boasts that he never works on Sundays as it is Sabbath. But I do know that he doesn't work on other 6 days too. Vance Havner, the American Southern Baptist minister, evangelist and author, said, "Many Christians are not standing on the promises, but they are just sitting on the premises." The late Reverend Dr. D.T. Niles was a Sri Lankan pastor, theologian, evangelist, and a past president of the Ceylon Methodist Conference. He wrote, quote, "Part of the problem that people have in understanding the Christian faith is that they seek to understand it as if it consisted of doctrines which they must believe and religious practices which they must keep. Doctrines and practices are there, but the essence of the Christian faith and life is that it is an activity. The New Testament speaks of it as a race to be run, a war to be waged, a wrestling to be undertaken. The whole business involves strenuous activity and rigorous discipline." Unquote. In England, there once lived a doctor who was very committed to his calling. One cold winter night, he was tired after work and was resting near the fireplace when the doorbell rang. There stood a poor lady who said that her young boy was very ill and asked whether the doctor can come and treat him. On inquiry, the doctor learned that their house was situated a couple of miles away from his place and he would have to walk in the snow to get there. Besides, the doctor knew that he could not charge any money from this woman as she was poor. Further, he was too tired to travel all that way. Nevertheless, he was a duty-conscious doctor. He went with the woman and treated the boy. In a book written by the doctor much later, he said that he had forgotten the incident until one day he learnt that the boy he treated on that cold wintry night later became a Prime Minister of England. He was David Lloyd George. The doctor also mentioned in his book that the boy had been seriously ill that night, and if he had not been treated, the boy would have surely died. Just compare the above story with the following sad incident. A poor man came in the evening at about 7 in the night to meet his priest. His father was seriously lying in hospital, he said. He begged the priest to come and offer a prayer. The priest looked outside and it was pouring rain. Then the priest asked the man to bring him a taxi. The poor man went to the junction to get a taxi. On inquiry, the man learned that he couldn't afford to pay the taxi fare, and so he went back to the priest. The priest still refused to go to the hospital, and so the young man returned. That night at about 1 a.m., the poor man's father died. Do you want to know the reason why the priest was not willing to go to the hospital? Rain. I'm not pointing a finger only to the priest, but consider in so many instances, isn't this our attitude too towards God's work? Prophet Jeremiah uses very strong words on people who neglect their work or work lazily. In Jeremiah chapter 48 verse 10 he says, "Cursed is he who does the work of the Lord with slackness." Very strong words indeed. Keep them in mind. Cursed are you if you do the work of the Lord with slackness. And if there are students listening to this message, let me rephrase the words of Jeremiah. Cursed are you if you do your studies with slackness. I end with the words of Robert Murray M'Cheyne, the minister in the Church of Scotland. Oh, how sweet to work all day for God and then lie down at night beneath his smile. May God bless you. Amen.